morning, Christopher Mooney. So my name is Antoine Burke. I'm from the local jobs program in Sydney Southwest, and I'm with Chris Mooney today, who's the Sydney Southwest entrepreneurship facilitator for the region. And I'd like to welcome you, Chris, and maybe you could introduce yourself.
Yes, thanks, Anton. Terrific and really nice to be with you. And congratulations on your appointment into a very important role in Southwest Sydney. And so it might help people just to understand what I do, how I can help, and how I integrate with the local jobs program and other Jobactive providers. So the starting point for this journey, of course, is we're all part of this big network, regardless of who we work for individually, that started with the Department of Education and its desire to get people back into full-time or part-time employment and to help people through whatever coaching and mentoring or education they need to get those job skills to get a job. So my role specifically is to use my, I hate to say it almost, 5 decades worth of business experience to help people understand how they can be successful in getting employment through running their own business. So I have about 4 decades with a very large Australian company. I've run my own businesses. I've lectured in marketing. I've had various advisory board roles, and I've also, I guess the main thing I'd probably like to say is I've helped probably close to 400 people through the entrepreneurship facilitation service here in Sydney, and I do concentrate in Southwest Sydney. That's the core of the responsibility that I have. But so far, I've not turned away anyone who's come to me for support who's outside that area. And we provide, Anton. So we provide free coaching and mentoring to anybody who's thinking of starting a business and who's perhaps already started but hit some roadblocks. And I'm happy to talk about what some of those challenges are when you're ready.
Terrific. That's really encouraging, Christopher, because I know there's a big population out there, particularly in the west of Sydney, of people who do have strong entrepreneurial ability, who they might be running a retail business or they might be involved in import-export, and they've been through a very difficult period with the pandemic and lockdown. So the purpose of the local jobs program is to coordinate with people like yourself to facilitate entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs. Maybe you're a young guy or young lady who's interested in technology, and that sector is screaming out for workers. And there's pathways. One of the big messages we have is there are pathways, there are stepping stones you can take to developing skills and building a really strong career in this sector in technology. And one of the key messages from the local jobs program is that it's a candidates market. You're in a really strong position right now to take advantage of not just training, and I'm talking about affordable and very often free training in many different sectors, from aged care to technology to science to construction, but also for direct entry to employment. And I think for some people, the attraction of being your own boss, of building your own little business or big business, whatever it is very attractive. And we have resources available, for example, Chris and his team through Business Australia to help you. And it's a very important message to know that that help exists. You may not have a background in entrepreneurship, but there are stepping stones where we can guide you on the journey.
Yeah, thanks. That's a really good point, Anton. I think one of the things, I do meet people who are uncertain what they want to do, and certainly they're uncertain about how to make it happen. And so some of the conversations that I have with people are to help them determine what their why is and how to get there. And there are two things that are critical in this conversation. Really, there are two dependencies, if you like. The first is, do you love what you're about to do? And the second is, do you have some knowledge or do you have some expertise that maybe nobody else has got in that particular area? You might be able to start a business without one of those, but you'll struggle to start the business without both. you know, there are over 2 million small businesses in this country. We are a land of small businesses. Something like, you know, 60% of those are sole traders, just individuals making a difference each day. But they could be people like me who are using decades of experience in business, and it doesn't matter what your background is, to develop a portfolio career, simply giving consulting advice to other people. In other words, they're buying your experience. But it does help if you've got one or both of those precursors. Do you love doing what you've chosen to do? Will it get you out of bed every morning with enthusiasm? Will it help you write a business plan because you can't wait to do it? And do you have some expertise? So they're really two very, very simple precursors to, you know, being a successful entrepreneur. And probably the other thing that I think is worth saying, and I do give this advice seriously to everybody that comes to me, my first question is, do you have a job now? And if the answer is yes, I say, that's great, keep it, don't lose it. You are going to need that cash and that income to support a business that you're about to start for at least a couple of years, even if it becomes full-time goes to part-time. And the second thing is, if you haven't got a job, go and get one. Don't think you'll be able to simply start a business without any cash reserves or any kind of income support. It's not practical, and it will make it a much more difficult start.
And that's very good advice. And just to complement that point, Chris, I'd say, look, if you are a young person in particular and you don't really know what direction to take, it's not, you know, it's a time where you can experiment, you know. It doesn't have to be the perfect decision. There might be some difficulties with commuting, with the learning curve. There might be a lot of information to take on board. But what I'd encourage you to do is chase your dreams. You know, if you have an interest in computers, if you have an interest in graphic design, in the creative sector, if you feel that you have a good imagination, or you're a good networker, or you know you're good at drawing, there is a career for everybody. And just get in at a very simple, basic entry-level position. Like I said, consult with training providers like TAFE and numerous others. We've got a job trainer opportunity now where there's free training on offer through government sources. The barriers to entry to skills have never been lower. So I'd encourage you to make that first step and consult with your local employment service provider if you're unsure. So what kind of industries, Chris, do you think have you helped people with in the past? What kind of business areas?
Yeah, well, the beautiful thing is, if I came into this role expecting that everyone would be from one particular sort of home-baked food or some other simple purpose, it isn't true. I've helped people with substantial technology ideas coming out of big organizations, right through literally to mum and dad businesses with migrant families who are, you know, perhaps struggling in any other way to perhaps their mature age, looking now for that next part of their life. I think one of the big mistakes that people make is that, you know, they might believe that age defines their capability or their ability to secure employment. It doesn't. The only thing that limits you is your ability to make a plan and get on and do something. There are plenty of people like me and like you who are out there and ready, willing, and able to listen and to support people wanting to start a business. And it doesn't matter how simple it is or how complex it is. Certainly in my own case, with my background, I can usually facilitate introductions and use my experience, I suppose, to help people not make the same silly mistakes I made through my working life. And that's what experience is about, isn't it? It's about avoiding the pitfalls that other people have already fallen into and discovered by accident.
Absolutely. And you need to be courageous. You need strength of character. You need to be patient. And you need to be confident to reach out and ask people for help. And so you might be surprised that there's a lot of people out there like Chris and I who are happy to help and want to see you succeed, particularly for the southwest of Sydney. I'd encourage you to look at websites like Work Ventures Australia or Catalyzer. or DESE. DESE is the Department of Employment, Skills and Education. They have some tremendous resources which could help you on in your job search.
Yeah.
And look, yeah, please be confident and remember the first step is often the most difficult one.
Yeah, that's right. And don't be afraid to talk to Jobactive, talk to me, talk to you. There's a whole lot of people that are out there, and we do collaborate to try and get the best outcomes for people. There's nothing wrong with having 2 or 3 conversations going. And I should add also, the DESE's NEIS program is there, and it's a really good program. And I have referred many people who've got good business ideas into the NEIS program, where they can do a very concentrated and serious business planning and execution exercise as a precursor to starting their business.
Fantastic. And to clarify, the NEIS program is the New Enterprise Investment Scheme, is it, Christopher?
That's right. Yes,
Terrific.
that's right. So it's So there are a couple of prerequisites for that, but you will get paid to prepare to start your business.
Terrific. You can Google that, NEIS.
NEIS.
Is it a federal government initiative, Chris?
Yes, it's the same department.
Terrific.
Yep.
Excellent.
Department of Education.
Thank you so much for your time, Christopher. That was very helpful. And again, please reach out if we can be of assistance to you guys. All the best.
Yeah. And Anton, don't forget, people can find me simply at chris.mooney, MOONEY, at businessaustralia.com. And Business Australia is one word. So chris.mooney at businessaustralia.com. It's the easiest way to find me. Otherwise, you can get to me through the business.gov.au, or you can find me through the Business Australia website.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Christopher. I appreciate it.